loves. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome into this video for day 3 of 30 days of Ho'oponopono. This video is for the chat that we're going to be having, and our subject today is for exes. I will be coming on with a separate video after this discussion where we cover the practice so that you can apply the Ho'oponopono technique yourself to this subject for yourself. So Ho'oponopono, if you don't know what it is, it's a Hawaiian healing technique made popular by E. Haleakula Hugh Lin, who was a doctor who was working at the Hawaii State Penitentiary, and he essentially treated an entire ward of clinically insane prison mates through this practice, through taking radical responsibility for what was going on within him and seeing that that was showing up as what was happening in the prison mates and what had happened in their lives. And as he used these 4 powerful phrases of, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you, the ward ended up shutting down because it didn't have enough inmates left after 4 years to continue running at the way that it was running. So Ho'oponopono is a very, very powerful technique. It is a philosophy as well as a practice, and the philosophy of it is that you are the center of your reality. There's lots of science that does indicate that this is the case. Perhaps one day I will come on with the facts for you guys, just to kind of share with you the scientific basis for how we are the centers of our realities and how our consciousness exactly is interfacing with the world as we perceive it and as we experience it. So Ho'oponopono is about offering up these phrases to what's called clear negative charges in your life. So a negative charge is anything that makes you feel icky. That's basically, you know, the end of it. If it makes you feel icky, it's a negative charge. And especially with our exes, right? We can jump right into the topic of exes because I don't think that there is an ickier charge than exes, you know, and some of us have exes that we're amiable with and that we have no charge with, and some of us have exes that there's still a lot of charge there. So I picked this subject because it's something near and dear to my heart, and I'm just going to share with you how I've been practicing Ho'oponopono and related to my exes and what I've discovered from it. So for those of you who don't know, my husband and I have split. We are in the process of getting a divorce, and so that would be Ross, if those of you who know me and know my story and my partnership. I am now with a new partner that I'm doing this 30 days with. So we're still really close friends, and we both really have always said that we would end up friends even if our relationship didn't work out, and we have stayed true to that intention. And so for him and for that, there's very few charge, but when we first split and everything was really fresh, I used Ho'oponopono a lot. Especially since when you get away from a situation and a person and you start to see the story that you were telling yourself from a different light, you start to see where you were wrong or you couldn't see it when you were inside the situation. So with my relationship with Ross, there's lots of things that I've seen to apologize for, right? So the 4 phrases are, I love you. Well, that one's easy. I do still love him. And, you know, it's very true to my heart, that this love that I have. I'm sorry was a big one because, you know, at first it was, I'm sorry for breaking your heart. Then it was, I'm sorry that I had to leave. Then it was, I'm sorry that I was such a crazy bitch sometimes. And then it was, I'm sorry that this was the best thing for me. I'm sorry that this was the best thing for you. So as I've received more and more time away from the relationship, I have been able to see these things. But the great thing about Ho'oponopono, as we kind of discussed yesterday when we were talking about our enemies, it's almost like preemptively apologizing or preemptively setting the energy straight. Because I don't know about you guys, but have you ever been in a situation where you thought things were one way and then, like I'm saying, as you get more time away from it, you look back and you're like, oh my goodness, I can see why this happened. I can see my role in it, my fault in it. And I'm ready to clear that. I'm ready to release that. I'm ready to forgive myself for what I didn't know I was doing in the relationship, or what I was contributing to or creating in the relationship. And you might not be at that point with certain exes right now. That's totally okay, right? But the great thing about Ho'oponopono is you can say these words, you can say these phrases, and what they do is they open you up to see these things. They open you up to receive the release of the negative charge as you are able to take more responsibility for your role in the relationship. Now, if it was a very toxic relationship and they were very abusive to you, and it was you're done making excuses for them, and you're done seeing how it was your fault or blaming yourself because you need to be on the other side of that. You need to be like, I'm not going to reconcile that right now. If you're not ready to reconcile with the feelings and the charge that you have with an ex, that's perfect and right and totally fine for you to be in that place. There's nothing wrong with us not being willing or able to go to a place of Ho'oponopono with a certain person. I always recommend starting off in a place that does feel like you're ready to let go. So, if you have one ex that's like supercharged and you don't want to, you're not ready to offer up these emotions, offer up the gratitude, the love, and the forgiveness for yourself and the role that you played in the relationship. If you're not ready for that, that's fine. Do you have another ex? Do you have other exes that you still have lingering feelings of charge and negativity and pain and drama and stories from the past with, right? Because here's the thing, my loves. We live in a universe where patterns will repeat themselves until they are cleared. So Ho'oponopono is a way to clear a pattern. So as we clear the stuff that's back there with our exes, we are freed from bringing them into our current experience. If we don't free ourselves from these emotions, from these charges, we inevitably will experience them again and be offered another chance to change the pattern. So Ho'oponopono is a really powerful way to change the pattern of what has happened in the past and to really attract a different energy in the future. So we do live in a vibrational universe, and vibration is very, very attractive and powerful. So as I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, the things in our lives that are hurting us, that have really been difficult for us to process, that we don't know how we're going to get to the other side of. And I'm going to get into deeper things for me personally as we get further and further into this practice. But this is an emotional one for me, as I'm going through the divorce papers and as I'm preparing to finalize that chapter of my life. Another thing that comes up is all of the people who were part of that relationship that I feel like I've let down, that I feel like I've failed, and that I feel like I've hurt because of how things played out. So I also have Ho'oponopono to do with that. I'm trying to think if there's any more discussion here to have before we go into the practice. So give me just a second here to tune in. So what's coming up for me to share is that if it's somebody that you are an ex with, right? Somebody that you were with intimately and in a relationship for any period of time, of course there's love there, right? The love, you might not be willing to extend that love again because the extension of that love was misused, mistreated, or abused. However, this is an opportunity for you to look at your role in it. So I guess I can share a little bit more about my role that I played in the unfolding of not only my relationship with my husband, but in retrospect, all of the relationships that I've been in. I have seen now this year, especially practicing a new relationship dynamic called polarity, where one person is the masculine pole, the giving energy, the penetrated, devoting energy, and the other person is the feminine role, the receptive role, the surrendered role, the expressive and vulnerable role. So I am choosing to embody the feminine role, and as I do that, I can really see how my not feeling safe in a relationship caused me to go into the masculine role, which is to take control, which is to navigate and dictate situations so that I can avoid my own pain. As I get triggered, and the more and more I got triggered, the more and more afraid I got, the more and more I tried to take control, and the more and more I tried to prevent my fears from happening, which just fed them more and more and more, and turned me into a version of myself that is really hard for me to love and appreciate and accept. It's so easy to blame the other person and all their faults and everything that they've done and how they've failed and how they didn't live up to what you deserve. It's a whole nother thing to take responsibility for not feeling safe, not feeling heard, not being able to express your feelings, not knowing how, not knowing that it's a healthy thing for a feminine pole to do. The feminine role is all about expressing vulnerably, and when we don't feel safe, we really try to lead. And that's something we see in our world today, right? We see so many women needing to step up and lead because so many men have failed us in some way or another. And really, it's the system of the patriarchy that has failed us and has suppressed the men as well. The masculine poles, I'm trying not to get too into the polarity aspect of things. I'm just sharing with you my own revelations and experiences because I think it's important as I do this Ho'oponopono practice with y'all, that I share with you my personal experiences and revelations because you might not have the same ones, but it's important to see that they're possible to find. So really there's been a lot of me seeing these patterns that I've had in relationships with my exes where I totally went unconscious. I totally got into a triggered place and couldn't control my actions and was desperate. And, these men loved me. And they did their best to support me through the insanity I was putting myself through internally. And I really am grateful to them for that. And I'm grateful to every single one of them for walking away. Because I've learned so much from them walking away. That's where the thank you comes in. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for leaving me. Thank you for I'm a mess, sorry. Thank you for doing your best while I did my best. Thank you for helping me to feel the love that is inside of me and accessible to me at all times, right? Because that's all about what I'm trying to do with my business and my services that I offer the world and the community. I always talk about this. I'm trying to guide you back to the wise instinctive knowing within yourself. I'm trying to guide you back to knowing you are worthy without needing anything outside of you to validate it. Right? And in our relationships, we can get so attached to them validating ourselves. And then the fear or the thought or the threat of them leaving is therefore a fear and a threat of us being unworthy. And every time that a man has left me and made me feel unworthy, well, and I felt unworthy in response, it's been a healing journey for me. It's been a lesson, it's been a learning, it's been a release, it's been a trial. I would never physically cause harm. I barely even speak words that cause harm, but even energetically, if you're intending harm or you're feeling like feeling like negative things towards someone, sending energetic daggers towards somebody that you love, it's harmful. It's doing harm, even if it just stays internal. And ultimately, right, the Ho'oponopono brings it back to you. You're doing harm to yourself. And you're projecting outward. You're pretending, or you're insisting that it's somebody else's fault. They've made me feel insecure. Well, the truth is, they didn't. You made you feel insecure because of what you've told yourself about what you're experiencing. So that's really the gift, the freeing energy of Ho'oponopono, is making space for you to take responsibility for your experience of another person, especially an intimate partner in relationship. And that's really what I'm offering up today, is to take those charges of this person was so terrible, and so this relationship was so painful and toxic and whatever it was, and not beating yourself up for it either. Clearly I have lots of guilt that I'm still holding, which again is what Ho'oponopono helps clear. But giving yourself the gift of setting yourself free from that pain. Because the moment you take responsibility for it, the moment you really feel it, the moment you offer energetically this love, this beautiful grace, this beautiful gift of hope, the moment you don't have to carry that weight anymore of that experience, and you will not have that vibrational point of attraction anymore. It won't be something, so we live in a feedback universe, so you can think of every thought that you have or every emotion that you have as a signal being sent out into the universe, and somewhere it's going to meet a reflector, somewhere it's going to turn around, and it's going to come back to you in the same form that it went out as, sometimes magnified. Most often magnified because it's traveled a distance, so it's gotten stronger. So the Ho'oponopono helps to rein that in and to make sure that this experience of pain and drama and this toxic energy and betrayal and whatever it is that you experienced with your ex, that the reason why you're no longer together, whatever that reason is, you don't have to bring it into your single life to experience or into your new relationship to experience, and because you've cleared it, because that is no longer the vibrational signal that you're sending out. You're sending love and gratitude and taking responsibility for everything that's happening in your life, and that's very powerful. And you are going to see that energy come back to you. More love, more power, more gratitude. That is a way different experience than more betrayal, more distrust, more pain, more fear. whatever it is for you. So I think that is the end of my chat here for Exes. I know I was a little bit non sequitur. I guess I apologize if someone had trouble following me. I appreciate you all for holding space, and I hope that you are gaining support and insight through this practice. I am going to stop this video and set up, probably blow my nose and wipe my face, and set up for the practice video. So this is going to be me guiding us through an experience where we pull up all of our Exes that we are ready to ho'oponopono, and we offer these phrases, these emotions, these feelings, these clearings to ourselves and to our Exes. So I hope to see you in that other video, and thank you for joining us on these 30 days of Ho'oponopono journey. We are posting these on our Facebook. They're also going up on YouTube after I've had time to process them. So please feel free to share with those that you feel inspired. Please feel free to do your own practice, picking your own themes if that feels good and right for you, or you can sit and join me for the chats and the practices daily. As always, Namaste. The universal light within me salutes and honors the universal light within you. Namaste.